This is a movie review. Judy, released in 2019. Before I get on to the movie, let's go through some of the significant happenings with regard to this one. It's been nominated at the Academy Awards for Best Performance by an Actor for Rene Zellwegger's portrayal of Judy Garland, and it's also nominated for Best Achievement in Makeup and Hairstyling for Jeremy Woodhead. At the Golden Globes, Rene Zellwegger won the Golden Globe for Best Actress in a Motion Picture, and it's also been nominated for a BAFTA, again for Rene Zellwegger, and costume design. So clearly it's a movie of high quality. It's directed by Rupert Gould, screenplay by Tom Edge based on a stage play, End of the Rainbow, by Peter Quilter, and it stars in the lead role as Judy Garland, Rene Zellwegger. Jessie Buckley plays Rosalind Wilder. Wilder's character appears when Judy arrives in London to play a series of shows at the Talk of the Town, and she is effectively personal secretary to Judy to make sure that everything is okay, her stay is comfortable, and that she is available for the performances as and when needed. Finn Whitlock plays Mickey Deans, an old beau of Judy's who appears in London, and they develop a relationship which leads to a very quick shotgun marriage. Rufus Sewell plays Judy's ex-husband, Sid Luft, who effectively has the custody of two of their children. And Michael Gambon plays Bernal Delphont. He's the man responsible for her shows at the Talk of the Town. He is the owner of that establishment. Louis B. Mayer is played by Richard Corderay. We see him in flashbacks as the film goes back to the time when young Judy, played by Darcy Shaw, is approximately 16 years of age, and it's at the time when she was launched, her career was launched onto stage and screen with the release of The Wizard of Oz, and we capture events when Mayer is imposing his authority over the very young and naive Judy, insisting that she be on a strict diet to maintain her thin persona, and he is also responsible for the beginning of her drug addiction, whereby she was given amphetamines for energy at breakfast and barbiturates at night to help her sleep. And this addiction continues throughout her life, and for the context of this movie becomes particularly significant in her demise. And it's one of the heart-wrenching aspects to this movie whilst I was watching it, because so many other bells rang in my head with regard to talented singers, talented actors and actresses who have slid down the slippery slope because of the abuse that took place within the industry, or the abuse particularly with regard to women, that the women had to put up with from men who were basically there to earn a cheap buck at their benefit. And the ones that came to mind were Janis Joplin, of course, who died from an overdose in the early 70s. More recently, Amy Winehouse, of course, who was subject to the influence of men who were, to say the least, pretty revolting. And Whitney Houston, of course, another star who fell by the wayside because she just didn't have a genuine friend. So this movie touches on all those aspects. The situation is that we meet Judy after she just completed a show in New York. She has her 2 young children with her, and she returns to the hotel where she's been staying and is refused entry because she hasn't paid her bill. And this paints graphically the state that she's in with regard to her career. It's on a downward spiral. She's broke. She's desperately trying to maintain the parenting of these 2 children, but she has to turn to her ex-husband to take care of the children in the absence of both money and a place to stay. And then she has this opportunity to go to London, and she accepts, not with glee but with desperation. And the movie then shifts to London, to the Talk of the Town nightclub, and her struggle to meet the requirements of this contract as her health starts to spiral downward. She becomes a mere shadow of the star that those in the audience remember. And some of the scenes are pretty hard to swallow, really, with her collapsing on stage, with her attempts to meet the demands of a schedule that's quite demanding, and at the same time to maintain a smiling persona to her legions of fans. We meet a couple of her fans. I found this moment quite poignant. They're a gay couple who have suffered the intensity of a law in Britain that banned homosexuality, but they've moved on from that, and they are avid fans of Judy Garland, and they take her under her wing after a show and end up offering her an omelette at a very small room, but she receives a lot of love and appreciation there, which is something that's been in short supply for her. The arrival of the character Mickey gives a false dawn to her, as he promises that he's going to get a contract which enables her not to have to perform to the extent that she has been doing, but that she would be able to have more time to take care of the children, and she's still fighting a legal battle over that. But it falls on deaf ears because her reputation as being unreliable, being an alcoholic, being a pill popper, is now bringing her to the attention of those who previously loved her, and now they want nothing more to do with her. This is very much a performance by one person. The supporting cast are very much a support. Rene Zellwegger is in every frame. She dominates the whole movie. She physically and visually looks the part of Judy Garland, the makeup department deserve an Oscar, certainly for that. And the acting is of a 5-star nature. I thoroughly recommend you go to see this movie, and she will win the Oscar for leading actress for this movie. So there we have it, Judy 2019.